first of all, for those of you who were expecting Alexander Kocher, I apologize in his name. He has a private emergency, so I will move over here so you can see it better. So my name is Pedro Lopez, and you will need to settle with me in the absence of Mr. Kocher. I am acting as a managing director in Quintauris, and the goal of this presentation today is try to solve the question that I have been asked the most since I joined Quintauris, which is, what are you doing? So almost everybody that I shake hands is like, I heard about Quintauris, but what are you actually doing? Maybe that, and how do you pronounce Quintauris? That's a close second question that we receive. So let's go. Quintauris is the answer to one of the biggest problems that there are today in the industry. This is common to semiconductor, to software, to any supply chain today. You need to be able to drive challenges in the nature of high-speed innovation, cost competitiveness, as well as global decoupling. And in the semiconductor industry, especially in the RISC-V ecosystem, this is transitioning really into a really high revolution. And we just need to see how many people we are here today. There is a big revolution happening in RISC-V, and there is a huge market interest on that. So if anybody of you were here on Monday, some of these numbers were already given during the initial introduction that we expect huge things to happen around the RISC-V community. So in order to make RISC-V a reality, the industry is seeing a lot of its advantages, and many of the companies which are here represented today are leveraging from those advantages, whether it's the fact that there is an open standard, that is license-free. You can customize it for the use cases that you might be working on, and you can enable from low-level MCUs all the way to the cloud-based, data center-based environments. So to the industry, the advantages of RISC-V are clear, and they have been clear for a while. But there is a but. And from the outside, and especially some of the realization to go into the next level, there is still expected level of alignment that it's not been there, at least for moving RISC-V into a much more commercial environment, like industrial environment. And that was the reason why Quintauris was created. So Quintauris' vision is to bring the grain innovation that is more than obvious looking at the past few days here in Munich to an industrialization phase. So this is something which is really easy to read in words, but it's not an easy task. And many of our founders, our shareholders, need that level of confidence in order to bring RISC-V to the next level. And that means our mission stands in increasing usability, expanding the viability of the projects, and increasing the alignment. We don't like the word defragmentation or fragmentation because that's has connotations that are not realistic to the situation that we are experiencing in RISC-V, so we prefer to call it like increasing the alignment. So how are we doing that? So we started with our shareholders, which are 4 of them are European, 1 of them is in the US. And we opened our initial location in Munich, which is our headquarters. In order to leverage of the great movement that is happening today in Europe with RISC-V, we have opened a second office in south of Spain. The Spanish government, as well as the different institutions, have made a huge bet on RISC-V, and the company wanted as well to leverage that movement in a second location. This will give us better range of capabilities, and as well as socialize a little bit more the efficiency of RISC-V globally. So let's go more into the low-level details. So as I already mentioned, we want to industrialize RISC-V. And many of you came to me in the last embedded world, but what are you actually doing? So we didn't start working until beginning of the year on setting the best path in order to succeed and to guarantee the long-term viability of the project. So we made the decision that our initial market is going to be automotive. We are going to be looking at automotive as the lead market for Quintauris. and within automotive, more precisely, the real-time processors on the MCUs. The reason for that is because after discussing with the majority of the market and the ecosystem, we realized that this is a sweet spot where we can have a shorter impact, prove that RIS-V is mature enough to be a competitive solution in the semiconductor space, massive space of automotive. So the decision was to start in automotive and in real-time processors. What are we actually going to provide as a product? That's something that we are often as well asked, and that we hope that after this session will be a little bit more clear to the audience. So the first thing we are doing is we are going to be developing specifications for profiles. In the case, the first one will be an automotive real-time profile. So we are working already in a specification for an automotive real-time processor profile. We are already in discussions with the majority of the vendors to initiate that first point of contact and get a good feeling on what's important for each one of the vendors. The goal for us is not to reinvent the wheel. We need to leverage from the great ecosystem which is already present in RIS-V. So the idea is to talk to the key vendors in the industry and understand what will be relevant from them. And we are talking from the IP vendors all the way to the compiler, debuggers, tracing, all the aspects that will be relevant to industrialize the solution. Once we are done with that, we will focus our efforts on developing platforms. If you have followed the presentation, there is a canonical definition of what a platform is in RIS-V International. We will be rigorous in the definition, so you have it there, the specification for boot and runtime services, the SoC platform and performance requirements. But our shareholders as well as the stakeholders, so semiconductor vendors which are not part of our shareholder group, they have been really clear with us that we need to guarantee the viability of the projects and interoperability. So we will need to expand a little bit on the concept of the platform and provide aspects such as securing the debuggability, so tracing, debuggability of the functionalities at architectural level, have certain definitions on safety and cybersecurity, maybe go even to the AVI and include it as part of our standard platform definition. The idea here is to add as much as we can to create an ecosystem where still the core IP vendors and the ecosystem can compete and can go for the highest performance, but at the same time, we can guarantee interoperability and set of standards. So when you run your software in a platform that has been validated as real-time Quintauris platform, that you can exchange it in the industry, and we don't need to spend 6 months or 9 months, which is one of the main problems that the industry sees to make the step and start transitioning to RIS-V. Once we have done that I will go out later and you will see like first in the R profile, then in the M profile, and then in the A profile. Our intent is to work and validate and certify the microarchitectures from the core IP vendors. So we are not here to start doing by ourselves the microarchitectures. We want to leverage the well-established ecosystem. You just need to go to the other room to see the value and the advanced developments that are already in the market. We want to make sure that we leverage that. So we will work with them that they get the information about our platforms, they can implement our platforms as part of the microarchitectures. The great idea around Quintauris and the key focus from our shareholders and the stakeholders that we have been talking is that still the IP vendors can compete in performance, in the way that they define the architecture, but that you are not creating a lock-in because for one of the microarchitecture, the debugging and tracing is not compatible with the other microarchitecture, or that you are not able to run the same software in 2 or 3 of these platforms. So the idea is to create that confidence around the microarchitecture, but we will not develop it. We will leverage the existing IP ecosystem. So how does it look in a high level, our roadmap? First, we will define the profiles for the R, real-time profile. Subsequently, we will work to validate it with the majority of the ecosystem, and in parallel, we will define our standard platforms. This is hoping to happen in the next 6 to 12 months. We will be working on that in order to guarantee that there is an offering in the microarchitecture which complies with our R platform. Subsequently, we will work on the M platforms and afterwards in the A platform. And we have a commitment with our shareholders to expand beyond automotive and look at other markets. If our business case accelerate in parallel, if our business case slow down after we finish our work or our initial transition to automotive. And how we are doing this is we are working to increase the alignment. We are talking to everybody. So if you believe you are a relevant vendor and we have not talked to you, please, you can reach out to me anytime. We want to make sure that the alignment in the industry is there. That's one of the conditions that our shareholders has imposed to us. We need to secure when we are developing a platform and somebody is developing a microarchitecture that want to work in the industry following the principles of Quintauris, they will be long-term. So we need to guarantee the viability of the project for automotive, which is a rather long period of time. We will do architecture validation. So when in a high level, the vendors develop the microarchitecture, we might offer to the silicon vendors the possibility to validate performance and how close to the definition of our platform the microarchitectures are developed, as well as define use case and domain implementations, meaning right now you see only one real-time profile, but this will be many of them. So I wanted to give at least 3 minutes for questions. So from our end, RIS-V is here to stay, and you just need to see what happened in the last couple of days, and the movement around RIS-V is one of the biggest trends in the industry, and also is Quintauris. We are here to stay. We are not an experiment. We have a clear plan. We need to be a profitable company and secure the future of RIS-V in the industrial environment, starting with automotive and hopefully with other markets. So, as said, Alexander Kocher is the CEO of the company, location here in Germany. I'm the managing director of the office in Spain, as well heading the market and business. Angel Berrio and Eva Schleifer are here, and they represent the corporate developments, relationship with the shareholders, the ecosystem, and so on. And Angel will be our head of product manager, so the one that is already working on the definition of our roadmap. And because I wanted to prioritize the question, you can reach out to us. If you scan the barcode, that's why I wanted to stay in this slide. You can send us an email directly. This will send an email to our inbox, and then we can set a follow-up meeting if you are interested on participating in the profile definition or the platform definition. And at this moment, there are a couple of minutes. I don't know if there is any questions from the audience.
Hi. So I think for automotive, there is a functional safety is a big aspect. So are you already talking to some for some RIS-V extension in any technical group, or already is this being discussed on the ISA level with anyone in the community?
So at this stage, we have not initiated the relationship with the different departments. We have been discussing with one of the representatives of RIS-V International. We have been consulting on the groups that we need to talk. We have been in contact right now with the group that is planning to certify RIS-V, so the CSE team, and subsequently we will join and we will work with the dedicated teams that will be of interest. From our end, we have a really aggressive timeline, so we are really open to work and cooperate with RIS-V International, but we answer to our shareholders. So in some cases, we might need to sacrifice the agreement on the RIS-V International for making our organization profitable, but our intention will always be to cooperate with RIS-V International. Question over there?
Hi. Do you think that the bandwidth regulation techniques will take place in the mixed criticality platforms that are also certified? I'm asking because in the last year there was a really increase of research about bandwidth regulation.
So we talked with the group about that. We do not have an answer. I don't have an answer at that moment, especially because for us, there are many questions about the regulation and how it will affect our business model. So we are in the middle of the discussion for that front, but I don't have an answer, an accurate answer. But if you want to talk to us, we are right now talking in that front, especially because if we create a standard our own, and how this will play with other regulations that might apply later on. So we are in the discussions. We started like 2.5 months ago, but we don't have an answer to that, unfortunately. But you can scan the barcode or reach out to us or Angel Berrio, which is back there, and we can talk more in detail about that. No more time? Okay, thank you, everybody.